In the last video, we promised to show you exactly where your great-grandchildren will live. Forget Mars, forget underground bunkers. The true salvation of humanity is a 20-mile-long megastructure floating in the cold vacuum of space. They are called O'Neill cylinders, but there's a fatal flaw in this perfect design that nobody tells you about. And the solution requires tearing apart the moon. Earth has an expiration date. Between resource depletion and climate instability, the clock is ticking. And even though billionaires like Elon Musk want to sell us Mars as our ultimate plan B, the harsh reality is entirely different. Mars is a freezing, radioactive hellscape with barely any atmosphere and no protective magnetosphere. Adapting human biology to survive there is a nightmare. If we truly want to survive and thrive as a Type 1 civilization, we don't need to conquer dead planets. We need to build our own. Welcome to OverScale Tech. Today, we're breaking down the most ambitious engineering megaproject in human history. We are going to explore how O'Neill cylinders work, what life inside them will look like, and why we actually already have the technology to start building them tomorrow. The concept isn't entirely new. It was first proposed in the 1970s by Princeton physicist Gerard K. O'Neill. But an O'Neill cylinder isn't your average, cramped International Space Station. We are talking about two massive, counter-rotating cylinders, each 20 miles long and 5 miles in diameter. By spinning in space at exactly one rotation every 2 minutes, the centrifugal force pushes everything against the inner walls, perfectly simulating Earth's gravity. Your muscles won't atrophy, your bones won't degrade. But the most mind-bending part is the perspective. Up isn't the sky. Up is more ground. If you look straight up into the artificial atmosphere, you'll see cities, forests, and your neighbors walking upside down, 5 miles above your head. Remember the massive radiation problem we talked about in the last video? O'Neill cylinders solve this brilliantly. The outer shell of the cylinder isn't just thin metal. It's reinforced with thick layers of industrial slag and lunar soil, providing a cosmic radiation shield even better than Earth's atmosphere. You are completely safe inside. Inside this megastructure, humanity has complete godlike control over the environment. 3 enormous exterior mirrors run the length of the cylinder, reflecting raw sunlight inside through massive reinforced windows. By adjusting these mirrors, the station creates artificial days, nights, and even seasons. The interior surface area is massive, over 300 square miles per cylinder. That's enough room to house millions of people comfortably. You could have distinct environmental zones. You could be skiing in a controlled winter sector, while the sector right next door is locked in perpetual summer, utilizing highly efficient vertical hydroponics to grow food for the entire population. Weather is strictly managed. There are no unpredictable hurricanes, no earthquakes, no tsunamis. The atmosphere is meticulously balanced. It sounds like a perfect, engineered utopian paradise. But here comes the $30 trillion reality check. The massive hurdle standing between us and our spacefaring future. How do you get millions of tons of steel, glass, and soil into orbit without destroying Earth in the process? Earth has a massive gravity well. It acts like an invisible prison. Currently, putting a single kilogram of payload into low Earth orbit costs thousands of dollars and burns astronomical amounts of fuel. To build a habitat capable of housing 10 million people, we would need to launch massive heavy-lift rockets every single hour for centuries. The carbon footprint alone would fry our atmosphere long before the first cylinder was even finished. Earth cannot be the supply chain. The answer to this dead end isn't on our planet. It's 238,000 miles away. And this is where this project pivots from optimistic science fiction to an inevitable, brutal industrial reality. The raw materials won't come from Earth. They will come from the moon and near-Earth asteroids. To build the O'Neill cylinders, humanity will be forced to become an industrial-scale space mining civilization. This is the dark, heavy metal secret of our utopian future. To create a pristine paradise in space, we will have to literally devour parts of our own solar system. Here is the exact blueprint. Autonomous mining rovers will extract titanium, aluminum, and oxygen from the lunar surface. Because the moon has only 1/6 of Earth's gravity and no atmosphere, we don't need rockets to transport the materials. We will use electromagnetic railguns, massive linear accelerators, built directly into the lunar crust. These railguns will fire blocks of refined minerals straight into the vacuum of space, aiming for the Lagrange point L5. At L5, gravitational forces balance out perfectly, creating a stable parking spot in space. There, gigantic automated orbital foundries and swarms of welding drones will catch the lunar materials, melt them down using concentrated solar power, and 3D print the skeletal structure of the cylinders. This isn't just a theoretical white paper anymore. NASA, international space agencies, and private billionaire investors are already quietly funding asteroid mining and lunar extraction startups today. The pieces on the cosmic chessboard are already moving. O'Neill cylinders are the inevitable next step for human survival. But there is a massive, urgent problem. The race to mine asteroids and the moon is completely unregulated right now. We are about to witness the biggest, most aggressive gold rush in human history, and whoever controls those space minerals will dictate the destiny of humanity. How exactly asteroid mining works, how much money is floating out there, and why it could trigger the first true space war. I explain all of that in detail in this video on your screen. Click right here and let's keep going.